My first view of the canal was from a observation point aboard an ocean liner that was transiting the canal. But we came up that channel southbound and turned that little slight turn, and there they were, and there were ships stacked on each lock step, and I had tears in my eyes.
Well, going through the locks in Panama is an amazing experience. I mean, we're talking about a huge vessel going through the locks, which are basically just 1 meter wider than the actual vessel. And here you are going through the structure that's been standing around for a little bit over 100 years now, and it's just spectacular.
I think what makes the Panama Canal a special experience is because it's an American project, and it's something that all Americans, even though it's no longer an American project, it's a reminiscent of the American effort. It's still there today, and it should always be respected for that.
The view is fantastic. Seeing the ship in the lock, you see how big our ship is, and even though the locks are massive, we fill it out. The assets for the canal, as we know it today, were purchased from the French by the Americans in 1904, and then the next following 10 years, the Americans completed what we have of the Panama Canal today.
It took the Americans 10 years to build the canal. The French tried for 20 years, so I guess you could say it was a 30-year project altogether.
Owe the success of that basically to Theodore Roosevelt, who spearheaded the idea of a canal being in Panama. It was actually naval strategic advantage. He determined, and because of the book written by Mahon, determined that for the U.S. to become a true world power, it had to have two navies, and to support two navies, it needed a canal at the time. Today, we have a two-ocean navy, and the canal is less strategically important.
It opened August 15, 1914, and it signaled America's emergence as a global superpower, connecting the two largest oceans in the world.
The benefit of the canal versus going around South America was that it saves about 7,800 nautical miles of transit, and that makes a big difference.
When you think about the locks, you think of just a long chamber filled with water, but if you put them on end, these structures are among the tallest in the world, and they would surpass the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building in Manhattan.
Now, you arrive onto the first lock, and of course the gates are open and they're ready for you, and you start attaching the wires from the mules onto your vessel, and that's of course to keep you nice and safe right in the center of the actual lock. Got 101,000 cubic meters of water that floods in to raise us up. Same process goes through for the other two locks.
Taking a Panama Canal transit is probably one of the best ways to experience the locks, because you are part of the system. You can feel the ship rise, you can feel it descend in the locks. The water is taken from Gatun Lake through inlets and brought into the locks. And the upper lock will equalize with the level of Gatun Lake.
The reason the lake is so important, if you think of your car and a tank of gasoline, the fuel that runs the canal locks is Gatun Lake.
So basically we're being raised from the Atlantic to the Gatun Lake about 25 meters through the locks. It's an amazing process. I have to admit, the first time that we went through the locks, I was thinking to myself, well, are we going to fit? Given the fact that the locks are 33.5 meters wide and the vessel is 32.5 meters wide, there's only 1 meter to play around with. But at the end of the day, with the pilots on board helping us out, the mules attached to keep us steady, we were able to get through nice and safe.
What happens is the mules will pull up alongside of the ship. There's two in the bow side, one on each side, right and left, and also two in the back of the ship that position us and guide us through.
You will hear a series of bells. There is a loadmaster. He's one of the pilots on board our ship, and he will tell the mule drivers what to do. And he does it by radio. The mule driver doesn't have any way to talk back. The only way he responds back is by ringing a gong or a bell, and you'll see that bell on the side of the locomotive. Actually, the captain has almost nothing to do with the transit through the canal.
Well, the pilots, they're an advisor to us. We just have to ensure that we're using the equipment as they need us to. What I mean by the equipment is propulsion. We need to propel ourselves a little bit forward and help the vessel go ahead. And then, of course, with the thrusters as well to keep us laterally in position.
Coral Princess is 106 feet wide. The locks are 110. So if everything's right, there's 2 feet between us and the wall. I think the photographers have the best of both worlds, because you're on the ship and you document what happens on the ship as we go through, and you're also on the locks, which is someplace I've just stepped a couple of times.
That was a bit shaky, but I think we pulled it off. All right, Panama.
Damn, I can't see it, so you're telling me
No,
it's
that's
okay,
perfect,
right?
that's perfect.
Just say that.
Oh, love it.
Hi everyone, we're here, we're at the helipad, we're about to go 1,000 feet in the air over the locks of the Panama Canal. We're going to be getting you right at the Pedro Miguel locks, just as you're exiting there. We're going to be getting you flipping over your signs. It's going to be an absolutely incredible, once-in-a-lifetime event. Let's go do it.
Score, chapter 1767 of the Charlie, good morning. Hangar 1, take off, hotel 1, direction to the west, chapter 1767.
What makes the new set of locks so unique is they're going to be wider and longer. That means they can accommodate the post-Panamax size ships.
The new locks, the new expanded locks, will actually operate with using 7% less water.
The current set of locks, 110 feet wide. The new set of locks will be 160 feet wide, so that gives you an idea of perspective.
Can't wait to go through the new locks.
Well, the Coral Princess is a very special ship. It's been given the opportunity to go through the Panama Canal, and I have to admit that everyone that does go through it experiences something that you can only experience once in a lifetime.
I've got a fascination with the canal. I've had it since I was about 7 or 8 years old. What fascinates me is how it's become a major part of world commerce. I like the engineering. I like the history and the construction. When I was young, I was about 7 years old, I was on the living room floor, head on my hands, elbows on the floor. Here was the magazine. I was looking at the pictures. My dad was reading something up on the sofa, and he noticed what I was doing. So he came down, sat cross-legged in front of me, and started telling me about the history of the canal. It was one of these stories that you never forget. And we had a great time. He was sort of a father-son bonding moment, if you will. And from that day on, I've had a fascination with the canal. I take a lot away from transiting the canal, just the excitement of doing it. The fact that you're in a man-made environment that connects the world together.
Looking at the beautiful sights around us, you know, all of the rainforest, it's just an amazing, amazing thing. I have to admit, I was quite amazed. Yeah.
Last year, 111 different countries were either origin or destination points of cargo that went through the canal. That's how much it connects the world. And I think if we can connect the world better, we can all live better.
Many people save a lifetime to see the Panama Canal. It's something they've dreamt about, heard about. It's, I guess what the expression is, it's on their bucket list.
I hope people take away from this experience of their transit of the canal, they realize that this was built by man. This was built by everyday workers, laborers that toiled in the jungle, in a very inhospitable environment, and that they were able to accomplish what has become one of the major wonders of the world. I look at it that this is proof that men can dream. And that to me is important. As long as we have dreams, we will succeed as a civilization.